But mine's not scary, guys. Mine's not scary because it's real.
Yeah.
All right, so it's pitch black in the theater. All the lights have gone out, and we're telling scary stories.
We need to spread the circle out because there's still people.
Yeah, hey, scoot over from there. Who's right here? Oh, Tim, dude, scared the shit out of me. Tim's, no, look at Tim. Tim's right there in the darkness.
Flashlight. You know what I'm gonna have? Flashlight party. Oh my gosh, you'd have to be epileptic for that to affect you.
Look at black.
All right.
You can see people in the blackboard.
Seriously, no one really likes to hear the real stories.
Tell us a scary story.
All right. Are you ready? But you have to be quiet because it's this. All right, everyone saw my mother, right? And on that video on YouTube. Well, when she was young, she got married to my father, and everyone knows my father's not alive anymore because whenever I talk about my father, he's really my stepfather because my father died when I was very young. So I never differentiate between father and stepfather. Anyway, so she married my father, and right after they got married, he got sent to war. It was a Korean War, but he was based in Germany, and that's because he was a spy. But that's another story. That's a story for another day. So anyway, he was based in Germany, and my mother decided that she was going to go visit him in Germany. And it was her first plane flight, and it was on one of those little prop things because they didn't have like big, huge jets because, you know, my mother's 80 and she was, 22 back then.
No, it's not that long ago.
That was 60 years ago. So anyway, why are they in the dark in my office?
Because they're trying to come out and scare us.
Oh.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Not for
Join the group. Why do they have a submarine?
Jerry, it's fine. Let's just continue.
Brendan. He's a camera bro.
So anyway, my mother decides she's gonna fly, and it was like a red-eye flight all night long. She gets to Europe, and to get where my father was stationed, she had to take a train. So she's in the train, and she's sitting next to this man, and he was very young looking, but his hair was like totally white. She kept on staring at him because, you know, it's my mother. Think of my mother. Think of me as an older me. She's a lot like me. So, of course, she's like staring and, you know, doing this and like really like being very obvious about it. So he finally looks at her and he says, "So you're probably wondering why my hair is gray." My mother's like, "Yeah, maybe." So he told her how when he was younger, he went into this house, and it was one of those kinds of houses that you're not supposed to go into. And so he's looking all around, and he's going up and up and up into this room, and he finally gets into this attic, and he opens the door, and there was this ghost, and he screamed so loud, and when he came out, his hair was white. So my mother's like intrigued and half not believing this story. And she's like, "Really? Your hair is white?" And he said, "Yeah. And every year on this date at midnight, I go crazy." And so my mother's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "I go stir crazy. I just go totally bonkers out of my mind." And you know, it's almost midnight. And just then, my mother was like looking at her watch, and it was midnight. And the next thing you know, he went crazy. Okay.
I remember.
Yeah, that was really.
First time we heard that, everybody was freaking out.
I thought the guy was still talking. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody go crazy, and I think it's almost midnight. And
I think I wasn't ready to. I haven't said that story.